So tell me what you think about this. You get married. I know you're not married, but let's say you do get married. And I don't know the type of woman that you would marry, but assuming she's the kind of woman that is intelligent, she works, she has her own ambitions, but she's obviously available to take care of you and the house and everything, right? Do you ever feel, firstly, that you can be, does a woman inspire you ever? Does your wife help push you? Again, it's subjective and it's different because you're in a place where you've already made it, right? But assume you're in this situation for other men out there. Is it normal for you that your woman inspires you to be better, that you would always bounce ideas off of her, build with her, grow with her? Or do you not believe that that's the woman's job in your life?
I think a woman would inspire me to be better so that I could provide for her and protect for her better. I think that me personally, I get all of my happiness via proxy. So my woman inspires me to be better because I can make her happier. And I'm only happy if she is happy. I'm only happy if my children are happy. I'm only happy if everyone around me is happy. I don't get happy by myself. I exist via proxy happiness. So I think to a degree she would inspire me. Yes, that's true. And I'm not saying that people don't get married anymore. I'm not saying any of these things. What I'm saying is that women in their years where they would have had a very clear purpose, where they're at the height of their reproductive years, for example, they're at the height of their hormones, their clear purpose would be love my husband, have children. And now they don't have that. They just have social media, distractions, endless offers, money, gold digging, OnlyFans, dating left, right, and center, Taylor Swift, bullshit on the news, all of these hormones inside of them. They're told they're a boss, but they also don't want to work, but they also should work, but they also should have all this money just because they exist. And then they know this other girl who has all this money because she's dating 6 or 7 different men, and they're just running around sleeping with everybody. And my question is that better for society than a woman meeting a man, falling in love, and getting married?
Definitely not.
Everything's a mess.
But it also doesn't work for society again, I think both are to blame because
Let's hear the men's fault. Let me hear the men's side.
I don't think it's the men's fault. I actually think it's both of their faults because you're kind of you're creating the society amongst each other. So at least in my day, it would never happen ever. If somebody calls me and says, "Hey, do you want to come on this boat?" I'm like, "Sure." Like, there's no matter what the boat is, no matter where it is not possible because my values will never allow for any guy of any status to think that just because you're going to offer me so-and-so present or offer me so-and-so trip that I am going to go all the way there for you. No way in hell. Yeah. Like, this is my principles. And I think there's a lot of women, at least in this part of the world, that think like me. But also, there's many and many and many that don't. It is such a common thing around in some groups of women to talk about them being invited by men and men buying them stuff. I don't have that with any of my girlfriends. None of my girls are the kinds of girls that will ever take a present from a guy for no reason. Yep. It would never happen. Yep. And we all have amazing husbands, great hardworking men that are trying their best and that are building and growing. And we build too, and we grow too, and we're happy. But then there's this dynamic of what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Is it because the men are like, here you go, and the women feel empowered? They're like, yeah, so I'm empowered. I can take what they're offering and do what I want to do. Mm-hmm. Or is it the other way around?
Well, I'm going to answer that question. Yeah. I'm going to answer it because I would argue that when society functioned the way it previously did, where there was a man and a woman and a husband and a wife and a family and a small home and children in it, I would argue that men didn't want to give up having a wife and having kids that they take care of and going to work, because most men still want that now. Women want to give up having a responsibility and a duty to men. Men still want that. Ask the average man, what do you want? I want a woman, I want some children, I want her to listen to me, I want her to be loyal, I don't want her to be a hoe, I don't want her to talk to anyone else. Men still want the same thing. Women have changed. Most women, of course, exceptions exist. Most women don't want to obey a man anymore. So women changed the game, and women said, we don't want to obey anymore. We're going to change the way society functions, because they thought it would be fun. And they thought that they would have this liberation and girl power and all of this garbage. So now we're in a situation where we described how the girls act. Let's describe how the men act, because there's 2 categories of men. The men who can get girls and the men who can't. Well, the men who can't get girls, they just sit online all day and have checked out of society. They play video games and trade crypto and smoke weed. Now, the system by and large has no problem with them, because they're although the population is collapsing, although there's a population collapse, they're just importing people from other parts of the country and destroying cultures in real time to keep the populations up. The reason they have no problem with the people who don't reproduce and have a wife and have kids and have family is because it's very difficult for a man to stand up and protect a society if he has no vested interest in the society. He can just leave or check out, right? If a society is collapsing all around him, but he has a wife and kids, he's going to want to stand up and protect his home and house. If he just sits in his bedroom playing video games and society is collapsing, he makes memes and thinks it's funny. So he has no problem with that. And then you have the men who can get laid. And the men who can get laid have worked very hard to put themselves in this position. They've worked very, very hard to finally achieve the status and the wealth and the capability to be attractive to women in a hyper-competitive dating market. They're spoiled for choice. All of the beautiful women in the world, to some degree, want a man which is semi-like them. And men who manage to get to this level of life naturally optimize their minds for competitiveness and for competence. So if you find a 23, 24-year-old man who managed to make millions and millions of dollars because he naturally optimizes for competence and he's in good shape and he's very logical about things, and he's out there in the world and he can get all these different girls and he sees how all of these girls act and he sees very few of them have any values, what's he going to do besides just tear through a bunch of them, which is what he's going to do.